didn't want me to know that you were never at the throne. You're the offspring of wickedness. You're giant freaks of lawlessness. You're tormented, earthbound, with all your fathers chained down. Your mother's true colors show by giving birth the people know. I know who you are. I know who you are. It's taken me thus far. I know who you are. Big Bad.
Oh, CEO America, hello, good evening. It's 11:04 p.m., October 9th of 2022. I hope you are all doing okay. We're going to touch on a little different things here. The world from the past and even to the present, you get strange and crazy things going on. But that's part of the world. I'll try not to keep you late because I do have to get myself to bed a little earlier than usual because I got a lot of stuff to do and it's hard to do it with the aches and pains. You know what I mean, Jelly Beans? Yeah. All right, and just wanted to say right up, if you would, please hit that like button and subscribe. And please comment down below. And for anyone who comes in the chat, you're always welcome. And if you want to come up on the panel, hey, feel free to do so. And we'll, talk about the different subjects here that we're going to cover tonight. And it's crazy, folks. And, I think that we ought to be prepared always for the worst, but pray for the best, Yeah. And I'll tell you right now, getting old ain't what it is cracked up to be. Well, except maybe in the sense that you're cracking up, your bones get brittle and cracks easily, your skin gets thin, and oh yeah, oh yeah. I hope you are doing well, and please let me know how you guys are doing. I know a lot of you have been real busy, and hey, I'd like to hear about what's going on with you, because I do care about you one and all. And so anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this first thing here. It is a little video here. We'll do a commentary on this, so we don't get into lots of trouble by Mr. UB2B, you know. Uh, oh, I'm sorry. Did I use the wrong pronouns? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I had to throw that in here. It's irresistible with all the crazy and wackiness going on. All right. This is talking about giants. Uh, and I hope that you'll check these people's channel out and show them some love. And they got some interesting stories and everything. So, but here this particular one is about giants. We're talking about giants here. Just listen to this, okay? Now, there's some of you whoever may come across this, say, I don't believe in that crap. Well, that's your prerogative, If you don't want to believe, that's strictly up to you. And for those of you who believe, but yet maybe certain facts have been kept from you, or you don't know it all, or maybe there's things that you know that I don't know. And maybe you know things that the others don't know. It's good to share, all right? Share, don't keep it to yourself, all right? All right, let's go with this first one here. And I hope you enjoy this. We will do commentaries on it and the other videos that I will be showing. And so let's get this show on the road. All right, here we go.
Arizona, USA, 1909. Archaeologist Dr. G.E. Kincaid headed to the Grand Canyon to interview the Hopi people. Kincaid was a renowned archaeologist sponsored by the Smithsonian, the National Museum of the United States. Having a great interest in the Hopi tribe, he often visited the Grand Canyon to talk to the people. As he naturally became more acquainted with the Hopi chief, Kincaid was eventually told something quite profound. It was that there was a megalopolis beneath the Grand Canyon. The chief also added that the Hopi ancestors did not build the underground city, but instead discovered it, and that the city appeared to have been built a long time ago. Kincaid, who had become very interested, asked about the entrance and additional information regarding the city, but unfortunately the chief said that he could not say anything more, as it was a secret passed down the generations. With the sparse information he had received from the chief, Kincaid tried deducing the location of the entrance to the underground city, and it was at Green River, Canyonlands, Utah, where he began his exploration.
All right, before we go on any further here, let me just add this too. Now, this secret was kept among the native people, and this man who was listening to it disrespected them. That's why a lot of native peoples do not trust the white man, the non-native. They don't trust them because too many have lied. You have this situation here, and the man disrespected, the native people. But be that as it may, this is still interesting here. So I just had to throw in my 2 cents. All right, here we go.
In search of the entrance to the underground city, he traveled by a wooden boat, accompanied by his assistant. At the time, artificial structures such as the Glen Canyon Dam did not exist, allowing them to move freely through the river. After some time passed, Kincaid discovered unusual sedimentary rocks on the eastern wall of the canyon, located approximately 42 miles above the El Tovar Crystal Canyon River. In addition, he also discovered different sedimentary staining on the riverbed nearby. Near the riverbank, he discovered an entrance to a cave, hidden behind surrounding objects. There were also minute traces of what looked like stairs around the entrance to the cave. Having discovered chisel marks on the inner wall of the cave's entrance, Kincaid was convinced that this was the entrance to the underground city. The thin and narrow path leading to the underground spanned several kilometers. It is said that after a long time spent underground, Kincaid finally discovered a man-made gate that appeared to be the real entrance to the city. The city was formed as if carved out of giant rocks, with dozens of passageways spreading out like spokes from a large space that looked like a communal hall. The rooms located at the end of the passageways led to even more rooms, and it is presumed that the number of rooms was in the hundreds. The rooms were mostly square-shaped. There were round and cylindrical passageways in the walls and the ceiling, which looked like some sort of water supply or ventilation system. It is said that the most surprising thing was the giant stone statue in the communal hall. This is what Kincaid had to say about the stone statue. The stone statue was sitting cross-legged and holding a flower in his hand. The flower was either a lotus or a lily. Considering that valuable relics were scattered around him, he seemed to be some sort of god regarded as sacred by the locals. The appearance of the stone statue was especially surprising, as it was very similar to that of a person of Asian descent. In fact, it closely resembled Buddhist statues of Buddha. Kincaid also discovered a large number of weapons made of copper and ceramics with unusual designs. Some of them had drawings on them, which were presumed to be ancient hieroglyphs. According to Kincaid, they looked quite similar to the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. It is said that Kincaid felt a strange sense of disparity as he was exploring the interior of the city, and this was because he had a strong feeling that the various relics and traces found inside the underground city were a mixture of civilizations from all over the world. The mixture went beyond just different countries, spanning across both the Eastern and the Western civilizations. Following the end of his exploration, Kincaid, who knew very well the archaeological significance of such cultural chaos, requested...
Now, see, this is very, very interesting. Now, you have all these different, cultural artifacts. Here you have Buddhist things, you have Egyptian hieroglyphs and such. But yet they have also, which you'll see in here, something that's really interesting. So it makes you have different questions about our history of this country, especially there in the Grand Canyon. All right. Now the natives knew about all this, but they kept it secret, and they have the reasons. You know, unless the indigenous peoples divulge the reasons, then it's not yours to question their reason. But it is left to question about the history. I mean, what had taken place? How did this come to be? How did this underground city, this huge, and obviously for giants, as you will see, also the giants were also known as Nephilim. Okay. And we've talked on this topic before about Nephilim, the giants and the fallen ones, the fallen angels and such things, and etc. But the thing is, this is very interesting, and I'm going to go on and let them talk here, and I would like to get your comments, your thoughts. If I can get this thing going, there we go.
Requested assistance from the Smithsonian. Upon reviewing the data sent by Kincaid, the Smithsonian immediately prepared to dispatch a large-scale second exploration team. The fact that there was a megalopolis existing beneath the Grand Canyon leaked to the outside and was followed by an article published in Arizona Gazette, a local newspaper in Arizona, USA. And so Kincaid began the second exploration of the underground city, alongside Professor S.A. Jordan and approximately 30 investigators dispatched from the Smithsonian. The second exploration revealed even more surprising facts. As they were looking around the basement, they discovered an extremely large and spacious room. Inside were hundreds of mummies wrapped in linen. The average height of the mummies was 9 feet. In addition, all the mummies appeared to be male, seemingly related to an ancient hierarchical culture. Being familiar with rumors regarding the existence of a civilization of giants during ancient times,
You see that? Yeah. So the thing is, I mean, you got to really think about it, folks. Really think about it. Giants. All right, they now we do have an understanding on how they might have got here as far as the giants go. They originally come from the east, right? From what we call the Middle East area and roundabout there. But due to wars and certain things that has taken place, they had there was some giants that got their butts whooped, and they split the scene, so to speak. So they spread out, and they come into different parts of Europe, and also into South America, uh, into China. They had been also in this country and things. It is really interesting. And see, people don't want to tend to believe in the giants, that the Nephilim. They treat it as like a Jack and the Beanstalk type story, But everyone's entitled to their beliefs. But see, this is serious. Now, will the Nephilim make a comeback? Yes, that is my belief. They will come back. But it ain't going to be no happy meeting, It's not. And, we just are entering a strange time of history now with all these other weird things besides. I mean, we got crazy wokers and stuff. I mean, that's pretty insane, huh? And everything else going on. People think they're dogs or a cat or, you know, uh, maybe a man I think he's a woman, and a woman I think she's a man, and some they don't even know half whether they're a man tomorrow and a woman the next day, etc. I mean, it's really crazy, insane. But here, with these giants, they do exist even to this day. They're just smarter. And let me remind you, there is a lot of areas underground that has not been explored. A lot of cave systems. And I'll tell you that a lot of them, as far as what we would say, they are technologically advanced in their knowledge. But a lot of them have been, just biding their time. But I kind of digress here. Let's go on with this.
Kincaid and Jordan were strongly convinced that the mummies were evidence of such a civilization. Considering the number of mummies and rooms, it is presumed that the underground city could accommodate at least 50,000 people. Unfortunately, they could not explore every single room. The sheer number of rooms was not the only problem, as there were also places that were unfit for exploration, such as tightly locked rooms and rooms that could only be accessed from above. Moreover, Kincaid had strong doubts about one of the rooms. There was a large, unlocked room that we could just bring ourselves to enter. But the smell emanating from the room was so foul that we felt lightheaded. I tried shining my flashlight around the entrance.
No, that's interesting. Now, what do you think about that gas? What could it be? Is it a defense mechanism, or like, traps, like you see in Indiana Jones type thing? What kind of gas is it? I mean, this is pretty interesting. I have not the slightest idea. So, what is your thoughts on that? I mean, that's really crazy.
But it was far from enough to break through the darkness inside the room. If that was traces of gas intentionally released by the ancient people, whatever was hidden inside the room could not have been ordinary. At the time, the underground megalopolis of the Grand Canyon was featured in media articles, gathering much attention. However, no additional information about the underground city was announced after the second exploration. This was because the authorities in Washington, D.C., who had been informed of the exploration details by the Smithsonian, ordered the immediate closure of the cave. People waited, hoping for Kincaid to reveal the truth. But since then, news about him could not be found in any media. Traces of his exploration had completely vanished from the archaeological community as well. This resulted in two main opinions arising from the public. The opinions were that either Kincaid's discovery of the underground city was fake, or that it was a cover-up by the government. But then again, not only were its facts published in local newspapers, but it was also an official exploration substantially supported by the Smithsonian. Kincaid, of course, was also a real-life archaeologist. Also, in most cases of fake news, there are groups or individuals making profits from such false reports. However, not a single person benefited from the news about the megalopolis beneath the Grand Canyon. There were no books, TV documentaries, or movies regarding the topic. Not only that, but Kincaid himself had simply disappeared without a trace. A famous American conspiracy theorist, John Rose, even went all the way to the Grand Canyon to discover the truth. I am unsure if the place I found was the entrance to the cave. However, soldiers guarding a seemingly insignificant gap in a canyon on a 24-hour shift were quite suspicious.
Yeah, so I mean, you had soldiers guarding this place. Think about it. See, now, it is also said that the government also knows the existence of living Nephilim, and because of their technology, they've been sharing technologies for, in exchange for different things. We're not going to get into that tonight. But I thought this is something you should really think. And if it was fake, I mean, the thing about money and stuff, no one didn't get any money out of it, so there you go. But, it's up to you to make the decision, is it real or not? Okay, so, but these are facts here that you should keep in considerations. Yeah, there are some that are fake, all right. yeah, and there's a lot of real stuff out there that people will assume is fake because of all the other fake stuff out there. But understand, not everything is fake, and then on the other side of the coin, not everything is necessarily true. But let's go on.
Suspicious. They were even armed with M16s. It is said that mainstream textbooks in the United States introduce the ruins of the Grand Canyon as nothing but an Indian civilization. But if Kincaid's words are true, this was something far more significant than just an Indian civilization. An underground megalopolis that may contain the secrets of super ancient civilizations, giants, religions, races, and perhaps humankind itself. Just what could its true identity, shrouded in mystery for more than 100 years, be? This has been Strange Night.
So go to Strange Night, subscribe to them if you like what you see there. Just go to their channel, all right? Just put in the search here on YouTube. Just put Strange Night, and you'll get there. All right, let's get out of here, and let's go to our next one. Hold on, let me, there we go. All right, now, I would like to hear from you, your thoughts on these giants, especially on this story here that we just got through watching, and would like your thoughts and your inputs, all right? Share. Don't be afraid. Don't be a stranger at all, okay? All right, now, I said that we would be talking about different things, okay? Now, this is something here that goes to show you what I'm fixing to show you is to letting you see how bad society has gotten, how screwy everything is. What's supposed to be up, it turns around and is down, and whatever is down is up. I mean, it's just flipped around topsy-turvy, and it's crazy. It's madness. And this world is nuts. And we have all kinds of strange, weird stuff. I mean, anything from supernatural, extraterrestrial type stuff, to you name it. I mean, just crazy, weird stuff. But this, you need to watch this and share your thoughts on it, all right?
If I get arrested, that's fine.
A Georgia State University student says workers at a Popeyes called the police on her after she tried to buy food for a man believed to be homeless. That's where we start tonight. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Eric Perry. Video of the incident has been seen by nearly 1 million people on TikTok tonight.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it? It is absolutely crazy. Insanity. Just imagine you go to do a good deed to help somebody and you get arrested. Or, someone calls cops on you and they'll tell you, oh, it is illegal to help someone. Unless the person who you're going to help, if they already got money and got a name for themselves, then it's okay to help them to have more. I mean, that is actually how crazy it has gotten. Imagine that, right? I'm going to share a little story with you after this. I mean, this really happened. So here, listen to the rest. Well, I'm having trouble here. There we go.
The woman who risked arrest to buy a man that meal speaks only with NewsEdge reporter Rob DiRienzo.
GSU senior Joe Ortega was door dashing last week at the Popeyes off of Ponce. She noticed a man off to the side who looked hungry. When she offered to get him food, this was how employees reacted.
No, ma'am, you can't do it.
Why? He's asking for food.
Ma'am, you can't do it. I don't care nothing about you recording me, baby.
May I have your name so I can let the people know?
I pick up the phone and start recording. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. Are you serious?
Joe Ortega says she was just trying to do a good deed.
I can't order for this homeless man right here who asked for food.
Her initial disbelief that employees wouldn't let her buy a two-piece for the man experiencing homelessness.
They called the cops on me, everything, bro.
Quickly turned into anxiety when the cop showed up.
At that moment, I was terrified. I thought I was going to get arrested. So I was like, well, maybe I should just call my family and tell them I might not be coming home tonight.
APD confirmed that they did respond, but they didn't do anything since Ortega didn't break any laws. She says they actually commended her.
The officer pulled me to the side and was like, I really thank you for doing that. Thank you for buying him food. I appreciate that.
Also grateful that man with the empty stomach caught in the middle of all of the drama over drumsticks.
Oh, let me ask you, how many of you would help a person like that, a homeless person, someone's down on their luck and they need help? How many of you would offer without them even asking you? Would you offer to help them? How many of you walk past people that are in need and just totally disregarded them? Now, if you don't have the means, you don't have extra to help them, then maybe you could call someone that could, and let me put this thought to you. Okay, you can sit there and tell that person where they can go, but mind you that they're on foot, and maybe, you know, especially like considering the type weather, is it extremely hot or is it extremely cold? And you're going to do that to that person? That's why you need to, you know, have someone that you know that, or a place that you know you can call or something, have someone help them if you don't have the means. But there is no excuse for not helping people. You know, now it's one thing, I understand, you know, you got scam artists and stuff out there, but, you know, thing is, in the end, you know, there come a day when we all will have to stand before the great beautiful one, and we got some answering to do, you know. And the thing is, there ain't gonna be nothing said because it's right there, you know, all laid out. But this is crazy. These people, I mean, all right, let me remove this. Okay. Now I can tell you right off, this was back when I was in my 20s. Uh, I'd had a job working for KFC. And I was trying, you know, going for a, you know, manager position. You know, I was being trained and all this. So I remember there was one particular day, and this was during the summer, and there was, you know, a fella. Uh, Thinking back on it, I think he probably might have been in his mid 40s, late 40s, somewhere around in there. He didn't have any food, you know, he was hungry, but he had pride. He didn't want a handout. He wanted to do something in return. They asked if it would be okay if he could get something to eat in exchange for doing some work. You know, maybe taking trash out or cleaning up or stuff, right? He asked me, and I said, "Well, you just hold on. You know, you just come on in. You know." And told him he could either wait by the door or he could have a seat, either or. You know, so anyway, I talked to the supervisor. I was there that day, and I asked him if it would be okay if we could, you know, give this man something to eat, right? And I told him, I said, man's willing to work, you know. And they said, no, can't do it. You know, it's, you know, no, we just not able, no, you can't do that. We can't do that. So that's out of the question. So I said, okay, well, since I can't do that, I'm going to take money out of my pocket and I'm going to pay for this man's meal. And did you know they sit there and told me, no, I can't do that either? You know, so I don't know. I guess I had that job for about 2 months and I quit. That was on my second month when that had happened, you know. It was like, man, this is really stupid. Now, because see, here's the thing. After the shift was over, the work, everyone's going home, and there's just a few of us left in there cleaning up, right? We're just cleaning up, and guess what? Like whatever's remain on the food, like the chicken and what have you, we can take it home with us. But yet, we can't help and give food to somebody who's in need. And they wouldn't even offer this food even to a food shelters place, you know. No. So it's crazy. But I mean, it was crazy back then, and it's worse now, right? So yeah, please comment below what do you think about that. All right, now I think this story that I'm picking to show you is probably, can't remember, maybe a week old, 2 weeks or a week old, somewhere around in there, maybe. But anyway, you can go to their channel. It's called Redacted, on here on YouTube. And you can check out the story if you want to find out when this story exactly, took place. But, however, mind you of the things that's already, from the time that you will hear on this video. All right, things have rapidly, every 24 hours have changed, and it's gotten worse, right? So let's take a look at this, all right?
Clayton here. I wanted to get this emergency video out. Last night on last night's show, we talked about within 24 hours, everything was going to change, and it looks like it has. And so there are a couple of big pieces of news breaking this afternoon that I wanted to bring to you and try to provide some context for them. First, on the Russian side. Of course, last night, as we reported, President Putin of Russia was going to be meeting with the leaders of the 4 regions of the Donbass to officially sign joining the Russian Federation. That happened this afternoon, and President Putin then delivered remarks saying now would be a time for Ukraine to stop attacking. If they continue to attack, we will use the full weight of the Russian armed forces to retaliate. So he's calling on Kiev right now to stop any aggression in the Donbass region. Take a listen.
And the Kyiv authorities, they should see this expression of will with respect. And that's the only way we can reach a peaceful solution. We will protect our lands with every means we have at our disposal. And we will do everything to provide safety for our people. This is the great liberating mission of our people.
So, of course, all 4 leaders were there. They then, at the end of the speech, got together on stage, put their hands together, shook, and they all started chanting, Russia, Russia, Russia. Watch. So that's on the Russian side. There were other couple of really interesting moments during this speech from President Putin, specifically blaming the West for the attacks on the Nord Stream pipelines, saying that they were absolutely responsible for it. Also saying he is now open to talks, open to peace talks. Now that these 4 regions are under Russian control, now would be a good time probably to stop this war.
Now, let me add to this. Okay. Now, we all know about the pipeline, and a lot of us knew it had to be sabotage. I mean, it's obvious. It was even reported that the U.S. naval ships and everything were within 35 miles or so, or from that pipeline, etc. So it makes the U.S. look guilty, whether they did it or not. I will say it sure looks pretty guilty. But if the U.S. didn't personally do it, then they were in on it by knowing who else did it, of NATO. But anyway, you need to think about this, right? Now, since this event has happened, there's a lot taking place. Not to mention the fact about the attack on the bridge there in Crimea. Yeah. All right, let's go on and hear the rest of what Clayton has to say. And if you want to, go to their channel, check them out. And if you want, you can subscribe. I would suggest, whichever ones you listen to or trying to keep up on stuff that's going on with this whole situation with Russia and Ukraine and NATO and the U.S. And China, and now apparently North Korea getting, into the saber rattling and wanting to get in on the war wagon and all this. Here, check this out.
Now, Very interesting on the Ukrainian side. And this is the main reason for doing this video this afternoon, is because moments ago, Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, held a signing ceremony, a sudden and unexpected signing ceremony.
Ми робимо свій визначальний крок, підписуючи заявку України на вступ у пришвидшеному порядку в НАТО.
That is a stunning moment. That is absolutely what President Putin said would not be allowed to happen. NATO advancement right on the doorstep of Russia. This is a moment that is begging for nuclear war. This is a moment begging for World War III. I think we are watching this unfold right before our eyes, guys, and it's absolutely terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. This is one of those moments when you want to hug your children, want to hug your family closer, because it doesn't look like cooler heads are going to prevail. These 4 regions are now under Russian control, and you can say what you want all about the 8 years of bombing of these regions. You can say what you want about the Russian decision to actually invade, to secure these regions. All of that is moot at this point. All of that is moot. These 4 regions are now under Russian control, and the only thing to do right now is to demand peace. Put up the white flag and say, we are done. Let's have a peaceful solution, because if not, we are looking at utter destruction.
Now, we know that as peace goes, we would love for there to be peace. But the facts are there's not going to be no peace over Zelensky and all them others in NATO and the U.S. and what have you. They all want war. Why? It fills the pockets of the powerful, those who are in power. It fills their pockets, right? Yeah, you heard it. All right. I mean, here with this attack that had came up on the bridge, which is now considered Russian territory, this is done deliberate for the sole purpose so they can have a war. They want this war. All right. Now, once upon a time, before I knew the facts, all right, like, that's the fact, Jack. Well, this Jack did not know that fact, that they're in with Zelensky and them in Ukraine, that I did not know that the government there in Ukraine was very corrupt. Now, and there's some other people, no, not the majority, some of the majority of the people are good people. And I'm for their freedom, and I would love for them to have peace. But when you have a corrupt government taking control, and other governments who are corrupt and taking control, I mean, let's face it, they hadn't had a good crisis, a good war on. Hey, it gives a lot of power in the hands of these corrupt government leaders. And look at what's going on now. It's crazy.
So Zelensky signing this letter application officially for NATO ascension. And what we do know, that the application is one piece of this. He's now submitted it to NATO, according to Zelensky this afternoon. And according to reports this afternoon, NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg and UN Secretary General Guterres will make an unprecedented statement at 1900. At 1900, we are going to see an unprecedented statement concerning Ukraine. What will that be? What will that be? Just wrap your head around it. Coming up shortly, it's going to be the acceptance of Ukraine into NATO, something that Russia said would not be allowed to happen, not on their watch, and we are tumbling into a chaotic, really, really chaotic and troubling time right now.
And, you know, that's really crazy. I mean, you have all this stuff going on, right? You have all this crazy stuff going on. So now my question to you, what are you doing to prepare for the worst? Unfortunately, the worst is just beginning to come upon us. I mean, we got, food crisis, fuel price, the economics and everything, economy and all this going to the crapper, right? So the question is, though, again, let me ask you, what are you doing? I see, many people going on like nothing is going to happen. It's just like, la, 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 I'm in butterfly land. Woohoo, I'm in Disney World. I'm in Never, Never Land. Yeah, but the question still lies, what are you doing? Are you just saying, well, we'll wait and see? You know what happens to let's wait and see? It sneaks up on you before you know it. And it's too late to even prepare or do anything. Then it's panic city, right? So think about this. It's a crazy world. It's insane. You see what the idiots, as we would say here in the South, idiots, in the government that's in, those current leaders, what they're doing to this country, I mean, it's insanity. Okay, let's put it this way. There's no doubt, the U.S. normally could put the whoop on, a can of whoop butt, right, on these different countries. But however, since there's been so many changes and you got now idiots in the military. Now, if you could, those who are veterans and still physically able, if you was to get them back in, oh yeah, this country could do a whole lot, for defense of this country and for others on freedom. However, I'm not saying all the military is all cuckoo, like with this wokeism crap. Let's recognize your pronoun. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's just insanity, Some of them, their idea is, well, let's put some flowers in the guns of their barrels, and it's all, we're going to go back to the 60s. And you see all these protests and stuff. Now, in this country, are they protesting this war? No. What are they protesting? They're protesting, defund the police. When there ain't no police and they get in trouble, who do they want to help? It's insanity. This is what we got, folks. Whether you or I like it or not, this is the way this world is today. And it's not getting better. I would love for it to get better. You would love for it to get better, but it's not. All right. Now, Russia, or since they got that attack on the bridge there, that was, like, I dare you to knock this chip off my shoulder. Well, that was what had happened, more or less. The chip was knocked off, and now it's like they just took their foot and put it in the sand. I dare you to cross over it, and then they went ahead and did that too. So, I mean, think about it. So Russia has upped the ante. They got this one general that puts in charge of all this, which is Nukem Putin Pukum, is his more or less now like a right-hand man. Get in and you just put the whoop on. Let's get the big guns out. In other words, right now, there's no doubt they're going to use bigger nukes, but right now I think they're getting ready for the tactical nukes. And then there's troops on the ground from the other countries there in NATO that are going into Ukraine, and some of them that have not quite yet, but they're going to. And so, yeah, I mean, and the U.S. bought like millions of dollars worth of this radiation, anti-radiation medicine for, like you get blood poisoning from the radiation. This medicine treats that. I forget the name of it. I doubt if I could pronounce it anyway. But anyway, that is what is going on. So they're being prepared, for something serious coming down. Now, we can sit there and say, well, I still want to wait and see. Well, let me ask you. Now, have you thought about getting the pills, the potassium iodide pills? You can go to Amazon and you can get some. You got different prices. You got to check them out. But there's some there you can get like a bottle of 60 pills, tablets or whatever. You can get them for I think it was $14.90 something or $17.90 something, which is cheap compared to what else they're asking for all that other. But anyway, you just go and cruise through it. But you want to make sure it's 65 milligrams, and for an adult you take 2 doses each day for up to 7 days, right? But you only use it in a emergency. All right, and we know what kind of emergency that would be, right? But you want to get on the ball on it because people are starting to buy them up. And then the more you procrastinate and be complacent, when the time comes, you ain't going to have it. And then if the government starts to passing this stuff out and and what have you, it's not going to reach everybody. And you might not be in that number of the ones who get it. So don't push all this stuff away. I'm just being a simple man who's telling you in simple words, just like if you was right here telling you in my simple way about what's going on, what one needs to do, should do. I ain't telling you got to do it. I ain't pushing nobody's buttons telling you or threatening you or nothing like that. But I am telling you that you should be getting ready for this stuff. at least start now real quick. I mean, kind of a like as of yesterday type thing. You want to get on the ball if you haven't already, and you need to take the proper precautions and preparations and things. I would like to know your thoughts. Now, we can disagree and agree or somewhere in between or have a middle ground or whatever, but leave your comments down below. I would love to hear from you. But anytime that I am on live, and if you'd like to come up on a panel to share some discussions, or maybe some reports and stuff that or stories and things that no one else knows of or probably hadn't heard, especially me or whatever, you could share that. Would love to hear from you. So don't be afraid. Okay. So excuse me. Let me get something to wet my whistle. But yes, I would love to hear from you guys. So be sure, you come back again and feel welcome. Always feel welcome. Come in and share your thoughts at any time. And again, let me just say, hit the subscribe and the like button. Share this out if you want. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. And there's a lot of people got their live streams going on tonight, so that's why I didn't have anyone in the chat. So anyway, but feel free to comment, and hey, I would love to hear from you. So until then, let me just say this, all right? I love you, and be blessed, and thank you. Wado. And again, I will say, aho.